Now, if you've not been paying attention the last week, we have been experiencing an explosion of Chinese manufacturers taking a war front, if you like, in retaliation to the tariffs in which Trump is trying to impose.
I will tell you 30 luxury brands. Some of their products are made in China. Ralph Lauren, Armani, Nike, Dior, Lululemon, Apple, Michael Kors, Coach, Calvin Klein, Prada, Celine, Swarovski, Adidas, The North Face, Rimowa, Levi's, Burberry, Versace, Chanel, Cartier, Ferragamo, Timberland, Yves Saint Laurent, Victoria's Secret, Puma, Uniqlo, Disney, Max Mara, Givenchy. The producing cost is only 1/10 of its price. Can you believe it?
But this goes back to 2018 when a trade war ignited across the Pacific. Tweets and tensions exploded between the US and China, led by then and now currently Donald Trump. But while most headlines focused on America's tough stance, something deeper was brewing on the factory floors of China. What if China didn't just absorb the blow, but struck back?
Do you recognize this style, this bag? Of course you do. For the past more than 30 years, we have been the OEM factory for most of the luxury brands around the world. Gucci, Prada, Coach, Louis Vuitton, you name it. But for this, I am not proud because we were only making our wages. The profit margin for the people who are actually making the bags are very low. What I'm really proud of is that first, we have the best quality control. Two, we have the best craftsmanship. You know, Chinese craftsmen are always intelligent and diligent. Three, we have the most complete supply chain. We always get what we want, like zippers, accessories of any kind, any color, and leathers immediately. Now, as the USA and its little European brothers are trying to refuse Chinese goods, don't you think luxury brands are not trying to move their OEM out of China? Yes, they did, but they failed because the OEM factories out of China, they don't have good quality control and they don't have as good craftsmanship. Their workers are either too expensive or too lazy. Three, they don't have any supply chain. They always have trouble getting leather or zippers or any accessories. That is why they failed, and that is why we will always be the best OEM factory for luxury brands. Why don't you just contact us and buy from us? You won't believe the prices.
This is a story of how Chinese manufacturing companies are quietly but powerfully fighting back against US brands in the post-tariff war we are currently experiencing. In March 2018, the Trump administration imposed tariffs on billions of dollars of Chinese goods, steel, electronics, and even washing machines. The message was clear: America first. Bring manufacturing back home, cut dependence on China. Seems like a relatively straightforward equation. Or did we see an oversight? We have been treated unfairly for decades, and the end's now, as Trump said in his own words. But China wasn't just going to stand by. The world's factory had options and patience, lots of patience. Now, initially the tariffs hit hard. Chinese exports to the US dropped. Smaller factories, especially those reliant on American contracts, shut down. Even some shut down. Others slashed jobs. The world expected China to blink. Instead of panicking, China pivoted. Major manufacturers upgraded their technology, robotics replaced cheap labour, companies like Foxconn began automating entire assembly lines, Chinese firms diversified, expanding into Europe, Africa and even Latin America. Manufacturers began increasing prices quietly for US brands while giving discounts to European or local clients. Some rejected US orders altogether, although it brought out American intellectual property through what we call shell companies. Factory owner, as quote unquote, we don't need US brands as much anymore, they need us more than they think. Perhaps the boldest strike back came in the form of brands like TikTok, Shine and Temu. Not only were they born out of China's digital manufacturing ecosystem, they disrupted American consumer markets. Fast, cheap, algorithm-driven, it wasn't just revenge, it was a global dominance. The West underestimated China's ability to build brands that compete directly with American giants, and that has been the problem for the last few decades. China also strengthened ties with non-Western nations, forming trade deals, funding infrastructure via the Belt and Road Initiative and becoming less reliant on US trade entirely. Manufacturing shifted strategically to Vietnam, Malaysia, and Indonesia became satellite hubs for Chinese firms. As the world enters an AI-driven manufacturing era, China is investing heavily in chip designs, robotics, and logistics. The question now is, can the US keep up without Chinese supply chains, and will more American brands find themselves locked out of the world's largest production base? This isn't just about trade, and this is something to make extremely clear. It's about control, and the silent retaliation of Chinese manufacturing might be the most powerful move we've never heard about until now. And if you really like this video, I'd really appreciate if you subscribe more, leave a like on this video and drop a comment on your thoughts. Where do you think this will go next?